Good morning. We'll begin with some singing. All right. All right. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world can't give it, the world can't take it away.
What a great way to come into a space together. Bonjour tout le monde. All right. Welcome everyone to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa, whether you are here in Worship Hall this morning or watching from wherever you may be, know that you are welcome. I'm the Reverend Eric Meter, the lead minister here at FirstU. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I welcome someone with a bright shock of green this morning saying Happy St. Patrick's Day, and they said, I've recently learned that the line about St. Patrick chasing the snakes from Ireland may have been code. It may have actually meant chasing the Druids and pagan out of Ireland. I'm not sure I want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. First, there's one in every crowd. Two, I trust that the Irish and the wee folk are still alive and well.
Good morning. I'm Lee, your worship associate for this morning. We acknowledge that our FirstU campus is located on traditional, unsurrendered, and unceded Algonquin Anishinaabe territory, and that the work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those that have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice.
Let's join our voices in song once more. Please rise now in body or in spirit as we sing together in honor of the coming spring, which looks right around the corner right now, the third verse of Chant for the Seasons, which you'll find as number 73 in your Grail hymnal. We'll sing it twice through. The lyrics will also be on the screen above. Before we continue, let me just offer a comment that those lyrics were written by a beloved colleague from the States. If anyone would like to recast them in language that is a little more fitting for us here up in the Great White North, bring it on. We light our chalice flame this morning to these words by Eric Walker Rickstrom. Here, today, in this place, and with these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel. May we feel so that we can know, and may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. It's not too late to come and help. You know me, I can use all the help I can get. Come on. And with that assistance, let's offer our thanks by singing this congregation's traditional chalice song. Chalice is lit and sung to. Come, let us worship together. And Jody's going to start us off now with a story for the season and a sunny day.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jody McIntosh. I'm the Director of Religious Exploration. And this morning I have a book called Mrs. Biddlebox. And because I have the book, it'd be nice if anyone young or young at heart wants to come and sit at the front. I already have a bunch of young folks. There you go. Mila's taking a front row seat. I love it. Welcome, everyone. I just realized it's a lot easier if someone comes and holds the book for me. I think Susan's going to help me today. Thank you. So it's Mrs. Bittlebox by Linda Smith. On a naughty little hill, in a dreary little funk, Mrs. Bittlebox rolled over on the wrong side of her bunk. The birds gave her a headache. There were creakies in her chair. A breeze blew dank and dreary and muscled up her hair. So she slammed the door on morning and sat thinking what to do. Her tea was dark and bitter, her crumpets hard to chew. With her belly full of grumblies and her hands upon her hips, an idea burst into her and whizzled from her lips. I will cook this rotten morning. I will turn it into cake. I will fire up my oven. I will set the day to bake. Mrs. Bittlebox got busy. She grabbed a pot and broom. She tromped out into the morning to gather up all the gloom. She snatched a patch of grubbly lawn. She scuffled with the dirt. She plucked a filthy shadow from the folds of her old skirt. And when the fog gave her the whiffles, she held her broomstick steady, stabbed the dreary lot of it, and twirled it like spaghetti. Mrs. Bittlebox reached up and hooked a ray of sun, then yanked it like a ball of yarn until it came undone. She rolled the sky like carpeting. The birdies flew away. Now the pot was overflowing with the despicable bad day. So she whipped and whisked and beat it. She rolled it out flat. Mrs. Bittlebox laughed gleefully. Her hands were pat, pat, pat. There's one more. And when the dough was finally finished, when it rose up fat and light, she stomped it down into a tin with witchetty delight. And oh, the day baked merrily, and oh, the spicy heat. Mrs. Bittlebox could not deny it was turning out quite sweet. She poured a cup of lovely tea. She set a pretty plate. She cut a merry slice of cake and ate, and ate, and ate. Now, with her belly full of crumblies and her nighty cap pulled tight, she threw the door wide open and welcomed in the night. On a naughty little hill in a cozy little heap, Mrs. Bittlebox rolled over, closed her eyes, and went to sleep. So I'm going to ask all the children, they're going to come downstairs with us today, and we're going to do a little bit of magic ourselves. So I invite folks on the aisle to raise your arms in an arch, or anyone else who would like to sing our children on their way.
As health challenges continue, do take care and take advantage of online opportunities at FirstU to stay in touch. If you are new to FirstU and would like to learn more about us, please contact us through our email, welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. And if you're right here in Worship Hall with us this morning and would like more information about FirstU, it's available at the welcome table at the back of the pews. And now here's Phil from our board to highlight a few announcements for today.
Good morning. First, from the Environmental Action Group, a reminder, we have a new advocacy in December. Environmentalists celebrated the Ontario Energy Board's well-researched decision to encourage developers building new houses in Ontario to use clean and affordable heat pumps, while discontinuing the subsidization of gas service into housing developments. The Ontario government was not happy and introduced Bill 165 to overrule the independent regulator's decision. Call on the government to backtrack on Bill 165 and listen to the Ontario Energy Board. For more information, look on the Climate Action page. And spring is in the air. Tuesday is the vernal equinox. Let's mark the celebratory time of Ostara. Speaking of Ostara, the Women's Pagan Circle will be meeting to celebrate Ostara on Thursday, March 21st at 7 p.m. in the Now Room downstairs. Trans women, cis women, and non-binary folks are welcome to join to celebrate the sun's return and the whisperings of spring. See the EUU for more information. Today is the last day to sign up for Mystery Pals, the annual Mystery Pen Pal activity. This year it has a sweet muffin theme. It will run for 4 Sundays in April and end with the discovery of a muffin social. That's muffin with a capital UU in the middle. We pair children and youth with adults for a month of Sunday morning correspondence through our Mystery Muffins post offices. You can get more information and sign up on the Mystery Muffin bulletin board in Fellowship Hall. And finally, save the date for 2 important congregational events. The spring concert will be held on Sunday, April 28th at 7 p.m., featuring all 3 choirs and the house band. Invite your friends. And the 2024 annual general meeting will be held after the Sunday service on May the 5th. May the 5th. Materials will be sent out to members in advance. We encourage you to receive the EUU, our weekly email newsletter. Check our Facebook and Instagram pages and our website for notices and updates. Our calendar continues to be as full as ever, though some of our activities take place online. This morning, each of us is welcome. We of any heritage or faith, whatever our burdens, of any culture or race, of any gender or orientation, in any body, all that we are. On behalf of the board, top of the morning to you. May you live as long as you want, and may you never want as long as you live. Today, we are all a part of the spiritual community. Welcome. And as for singing that song at a more appropriate time of year, I'd say mid-May might do it.
I'm not sure I want to wait that long. We can work on that. Each week, we pause in our time together in recognition of the joys and sorrows in our lives and across the globe. We honor our celebrations and challenges by placing stones in a bowl of water. As the ripples extend outward, we imagine them continuing out beyond the small bowls, out through and past our pews, out into the larger community of all. As always, we start with a joy, this from the international work to combat the climate crisis. The German internet search engine, Ecosia. I hadn't heard of that before this week. Have any of you? Oh, this is a great group of people. They use the advertising they generate to combat climate change. And they recently report that through their efforts, 200 million new trees have been planted since 2016. That's a lot of trees, a stone for Ecosia. And for those of you unfamiliar, you can look up that good news in the website Future Crunch. A stone also this morning for Norma, who is recuperating at a care facility in Cobden following a bout with COVID-19. We wish her well. And a stone for Marianne W., as we wish her a smooth recovery from her recent heart surgery at the Heart Institute. She is back home resting quite easily now. And now, to all of you, this is our time to place any stones we wish into the bowls before us. Please come forward. The final stone, as always, is in honor of all that remains in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. A caring card for Marianne W. is at the back of the hall at the caring table for us to sign. Even if you don't know her yet, this is a way, your signature on the card is a way for us to extend our care on behalf of those who have given so much of their hearts to this community. I invite you now into a time of stillness and reflection. After several moments, Jen will bring us back together again through the gift of music.
This morning's reading are words by Victoria Safford, Walking Toward Morning. You know, we do it every day. Every morning we go out blinking into the glare of our freedom, into the wilderness of work and the world, making maps as we go, looking for signs that we're on the right path. And on some good days, we walk right out of our oppressions, those things that press down on us from the outside, or as often from the inside. We shake off the shackles of fear, prejudice, timidity, closed-mindedness, selfishness, self-righteousness, and claim our freedom outright, terrifying as it is, our freedom to be human and humane. Every morning, every day, we leave our houses, not knowing if it will be for the last time, and we decide what we'll take with us, what we'll carry. How much integrity, how much truth-telling, how much compassion, in case somebody along the way may need some. How much arrogance, how much anger, how much humor, how much willingness to change and be changed, to grow and to be grown. How much faith and hope, how much love and gratitude. You pack these with your lunch and medications, your date book and your papers. Every day, we gather what we think we'll need, pick up what we love, and all that we so far believe, put on our history, shoulder our experience and memory, take inventory of our blessings, and we start walking toward morning.
When I was preparing this talk, I was anticipating a day a little darker than what we have. The weather reports were talking about rain and snow, and I was thinking of a cold, blustery March day. I hope that my presence here isn't removing the blue from the sky completely. But I have to ask this question. This is a rhetorical question. Anyone who says yes, keep your mouth shut. Forgive me. Does anyone actually like the month of March. You know where I'm going with this. This is mud season, after all. It's a time that tests us. Well, maybe I should be honest. March is just March. It's my and perhaps others' perceptions and hopes that are tested this time of year. When I was growing up, coming of age in the Chicago suburbs, the most color at this time of year, beyond the rare blue sky day, came from the City Plumbers Local 130 Union when they dyed the Chicago River bright emerald green in honor of St. Patrick's Day. And they did it again yesterday. Go Chicago. We learn over time that we have to take the touches of springtime as they come, whether a touch of blue sky on March 17th or the rain that feeds the loam in the middle of May. And yes, I know this has been another unseasonably mild winter here in eastern Ontario, and that winter seems to be releasing her grip several weeks early. I say seems to be because don't underestimate Mother Nature. It's as if Mother Nature is saying to us, hold on, have faith, spring will come. Change doesn't come all at once, remember? All in good time. COVID-19 has been with us for 4 years now. And no, the new normal really isn't the same, is it? While green rivers may delight some, such joy is usually fleeting. I'm aware that at this time of year, many of us become more depressed than ever. It's as if the promise of happiness in springtime are too far off to be trusted. And yes, I know it's more complicated than that, but that's the way it often seems. To those who are suffering, we can give the gift of our attention, letting those who are troubled know how much they mean to us. But just as important, I think, is hearing and having available testimonies from those who have been there. Hearing the testimonies, the stories from those who have gone the distance and come out on the other side, rather than rivers that are dyed bright green. What will heal us is hope that has been tested. Years ago, I don't remember exactly when, I was on an airplane. I was probably going through my divorce, and for whatever reason that day, I was just fidgety. My mind would not settle. My thoughts were my thoughts were jumbled, and as I sat in my seat, my knees were uncharacteristically jumpy. Noticing my distress, the young man sitting next to me passed me a magazine, Scientific American. Now, I'm reluctant to bring up publications and such from south of the border, but my neighbor, Chris, gets Scientific American, and I told him this story just this week because they have my address for him. So I'm always getting the magazine in the mail and passing it along. The man next to me, I had noticed as I got on the plane, a couple years younger than me, and he had lost his left leg above the knee. And he gave me this magazine, and I was like, okay, anything would help. And as I began to read and reread in order to follow the thinking, I'm not a scientist after all, my knees started to settle down, and my thoughts began to settle in the effort of learning something new. The young man, a little bit younger than me, had given me the gift of hearty sustenance to feed upon. Since my last flight, returning from Australia 3 weeks ago now, what has served the same purpose as a message from someone who is no longer with us. Do any of you know the YouTube channel Letters Live? Okay, look it up when you get home. It's from London, England. Actors and other public figures simply read letters to those in attendance at Westminster Hall. It may sound a bit posh, and maybe it is, but the letters are almost always captivating. Recently, the actor Benedict Cumberbatch shared a letter written from 2 months ago. Apparently, it was written by the now late Russian dissident Alexei Navalny on the 3-year anniversary of his return to Russia and subsequent imprisonment. As you know, Navalny died a month ago now by many accounts I am willing to trust. He was murdered. Here we have a short video for you now. It is in Russian, so we're just going to play the first little bit in Russian, and then we'll turn the volume down, and I will read the English translation as I have it of his words. If you can read or speak Russian, I realize I don't know who translated this. I hope I'm getting this right. I have it in Cyrillic, if anyone wants to follow along. Julia, do we have it? Do we have the audio? We can lower the volume now. This is, as I have it, the English translation. I hope to do it justice. 17 January 2024. Exactly 3 years ago, I returned to Russia after undergoing treatment for poisoning. At the airport, I was arrested, and here I am 3 years in. And for 3 years, I've been answering the same question. Inmates ask it plainly and directly. Prison administration staff ask it cautiously and with the recorders off. Why did you come back? In answering this question, and I even feel a slight annoyance. I feel annoyance of two kinds. The first, at myself, for not being able to find such words that everyone would understand and stop asking. The second, at Russian politics over the last decades, which has so inculcated society with cynicism and conspiracy theory that people fundamentally do not believe in simple motives. Like if you came back, you must have made a deal with someone. It just didn't work out or hasn't worked out yet. There must be some cunning plan involving the towers of the Kremlin. In any case, there's some secret underpinning, some secret underneath. After all, everything in politics is not at all what it seems. But there are no secrets or schemes. It's actually very simple. I have my country and my convictions. And I don't want to renounce either my country or my convictions. And I cannot betray either the first or the second. If your convictions are worth anything, you should be ready to stand up for them, and if necessary, make some sacrifices. And if you are not ready, then you have no convictions at all. You just think you do. But those are not convictions and principles, just thoughts in your head. Of course, this does not mean that everyone who is currently in jail has no convictions. Everyone pays their own price, and for many it is so high without jail. I participated in elections and aspired to leadership positions. A different standard applies to me. I traveled across the country and declared from the stage everywhere, I promise I will not let you down. I will not deceive you. I will not abandon you. By returning, I fulfilled my promise to my voters. After all, there must eventually be those in Russia who do not lie to them. It so happens that in Russia now, for my right to have and not hide my convictions, I must pay by sitting in solitary confinement. And of course, I don't like sitting, but I will not renounce either my ideas or my homeland. My convictions are not exotic, sectarian, or radical. On the contrary, everything I believe is based on science and historical experience. Power should change hands. The best way to choose a government is through honest and free elections. Everyone needs a fair judiciary. Corruption destroys the state. There should be no censorship. These principles are the future. And now sectarians and marginals are in power. Generally, they have no ideas. Their only goal is to cling to their seats. Perfected hypocrisy allows them to adapt and adopt any disguise. Thus, polygamists have become conservatives. Members of the Communist Party have become Orthodox Christians. Owners of golden passports and offshore accounts have become aggressive patriots. Lies, lies, and nothing but lies. It will collapse and fall apart. Putin's state is unviable. One day, we'll look at its place and it will be gone. Victory is inevitable. But for now, we must not give up and hold on to our convictions. In another recent letter among his last, Navalny had this short thing to say. Hope. I've got no problem with it. And he signed off that letter. Keep writing. A for Alexei. If your convictions are worth anything, you should be ready to stand up for them and, if necessary, make some sacrifices. And if you're not ready, then you will have no convictions at all. You just think you do. But those are not convictions, just thoughts in your head. In that light, I may have fewer real convictions than I care to admit, but I still have some. Life and love are worth risking for. We are more together than any of us can be alone. Hope is real, but we have to create it in the best ways we know how. Those are my convictions. What are yours? What is the springtime you bring to this wonderful, if currently muddy, world of ours? Thank you. Thank you. And now let's hear from the choir.
This morning you're going to hear from Chalice Choir. They're going to be singing Love Call Me Home by Peggy Seeger. She's the half-sister to Pete Seeger. This piece was written for her friend Christine Lassiter, actually for a fundraiser to help her pay off some medical bills and medical costs. And the text is very appropriate to that purpose. It's about finding support from your friends and about having a community around you to support you through the challenging times in life. Thank you.
When the waters are deep, friends carry me over. When I cry in my sleep, love, call me home. Time ferry me down the river. Friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey. Love, call me home. When the waters are cold, friends carry me over. When I'm losing my hold, love, call me home. Time ferry me down the river. Friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey. Love, call me home. When I'm weary and cannot swim, friends carry me over. Open your arms and take me in. Love, call me home. Time ferry me down the river. Friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on
Thank you very much, Chalice Choir. I invite the ushers to start passing the baskets at this time. Our congregation has a long history of care, vitality, and bringing people together to move the arc of justice forward. We've been able to live into our hopes and dreams because of the generosity of those within and beyond this community. Whether you're here in Worship Hall or anywhere else, you are part of this community. To make a gift in support of the work of this congregation, you don't need to use the baskets that are now beginning to make their way among our pews. Wherever you are invited to go to our website or contact our finance manager to find out how you can make a donation or keep up with your pledge. Our gifts are freely given and gratefully received. We dedicate these gifts to the work of this community of faith, serving human wholeness, caring for the planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, and loving one another. And now, please rise as you are willing and able, and join us together as we sing our closing hymn, Sing Out Praises for the Journey, number 295 in our gray hymnal.
You may be seated. Before we begin to close this time of worship and reflection, a reminder that coffee hour will begin in Fellowship Hall directly after this service. If you are new here, still feel new, or simply welcome a good conversation today, pick up a green mug as you enter Fellowship Hall. Doing so will help others looking forward to good conversation find you. Also, leafy greens, a courtesy of the good folks of Ajaski, are available to those who would like some from the grow towers in the old volunteer room near Fellowship Hall. We extinguish our chalice this morning to these words of Clariel Estevez. We are attendants at the wake of the old way, and each of us, through our actions, our thoughts, our work and relationships, it is midwifing a new world into existence. And when we come to our days with this awareness, when we fully wake up to this tremendous privilege, when we sense the oak in the acorn of our beings, then we will have the energy to move mountains and shift the tides. Our chalice this morning is extinguished, yet the spark of our connections and faith remains. Jen and choral singers, will you bless us again by leading us in our closing song? As now we return to the joy as well as the challenge of helping the world come alive in love, let us go forward with determination and peace. Go in peace, my friends. Go in peace.